Back standing at his own 1-yard line. Here comes Chris Ball. No win. Good kick. Redden, 2 yards deep in the end zone, will come out behind the Ram wedge. And comes out in pretty good shape. He's still on his feet. He's got to beat Barr. Barry Redden could go. Redden down the sideline inside the 30. Still on his feet inside the 15. Calvin Muhammad with that great speed saved a touchdown as Barry Redden showed you why they say he has improved every week, and what a way to kick it off in this great rivalry. From the end zone, look at that return again.
Barry Redden was the #1 draft choice for the Rams this year. He's from the University of Richmond. Watch him. He breaks that wedge, gets through that first group. Now there's no one here except the kicker, and a good return man will always outrun a kicker. What a way to start a game.
Best thing the kicker can do in a situation like that is get out of the picture.
And he did.
First and 10, Preston Denard and Willie Miller, both on the right-hand side of the field. Wendell Tyler cuts back to about the 15. A gain of 2. Let's set the Los Angeles Ram offense. Ferragamo, the quarterback. Wendell Tyler and Mike Gooman, the 2 runners. Willie Miller and Preston Denard, the wide receivers. Up front, a good offensive line. Pankey Hill, Doug Smith at center, Dennis Harrah, Jackie Slater, and the tight end Mike Barber. 2-yard pickup by Tyler. It'll be 2nd and 8. Line of scrimmage is the Raider 15. No score. Ferragamo from the Rams to Canada, back to the Rams. Barber was in motion. Ferragamo quickly to the outside. Preston Denard down to about a yard shy, it would appear, of a first down. Ted Watts made the stop.
Ted Watts is in his 2nd year. Tom Flores was telling us last night that every team seems to work against Watts because he's starting for his first year, and of course they're staying away from Lester Hayes. So Tom Flores thought that the Rams would work on that side passing the whole game.
He thought correctly. It's 3rd and 1.
Way on the other side.
Flores seemed very relaxed last night.
He's 5-1. That tends to relax you.
Coffee goes down more smoothly. Wendell Tyler is hit. Penalty marker down. I don't think he got the first down. Pat Haggerty is the referee. It's against the Rams. Against the Raiders, sorry.
That'll give the Rams a first down inside the 5-yard line.
Ray Malavasi in the middle of your picture. That's John Hadel to his right. He had some pretty good years at quarterback with various teams, and some, I suppose, John, against your Oakland Raiders.
A lot against our Oakland Raiders.
Pat Haggerty.
Encroachment, number 77, defense.
That'll make it 1st and goal from the 4. The Rams, after an 86-yard kickoff return by Barry Redden, have a chance to break on top. But if you look back at their season, that's not necessarily the end of the story. 1st and goal from the 4. Then Ferragamo. Barber and Battle, both on the same side, 2 tight ends. Tyler down near the goal line, almost got in. Lester Hayes tripped him up.
Now we see the Rams running to the right side to Mike Barber, and Ray Malavasi says that he has really helped the running game of this team.
The front 3 of the Raiders, when the situation is normal, not down here. The linebackers, a good crew. Hendricks, Matt Millen, Bob Nelson, Rod Martin. And the secondary, Hayes, Watts, Mike Davis, and number 44, Burgess Owen. 2nd and goal from inside the 1. No score yet. Ferragamo, other the intended receiver, incomplete. Lofted over his head. Mike Barber hit that running track with his elbow. That's gravel. That stings.
That was an interesting play. What they did is they faked that tight end trap where the tight end comes back in motion. We see where Mike Barber hit right there. He took a chunk out of the turf. Anyway, they faked that play, and then they ran a bootleg to get Barber into the end zone. If you're that close, you may just want to run that thing in, wouldn't you?
I would think so. About a half yard's all they need. Third down. The Raiders tough down here. Tyler and Green, the two runners. That's Tyler going in motion. Didn't get in. Ted Watts made the hit on Gooman, and he didn't make it.
One thing in the goal line, I love football on the goal line, but one thing, you have to take that ball and keep it going forward. Now watch Gooman, he delays right there a little and then try to bounce out. You cannot delay when you're running on the goal line. You can't delay.
Now Ray Malavasi has to make a decision whether to go for the 3 or whether to go for the 6. And he's already made that with no hesitation. He's going for the 6. Ray Malavasi under fire, at least according to the press. 4th down. Ferragamo to Tyler, and Tyler slashes into the end zone. Touchdown. Serious altercation going on, and it continues. Called Ted Hendricks looking into the pile. Lyle Alzado was one of the combatants. Willie Miller now trying to settle things down. Jack Youngblood out to say stop this foolishness.
Now, of course, that won't affect the touchdown because there is a flag on the play, but it came after the touchdown. We just see on that play, Wendell Tyler took the ball in there the way you have to, and they got movement. The Ram offense moved the Raider defense back into the end zone. Here's where it starts.
Foul offense and personal foul defense, offsetting penalties. After the penalty, the touchdown stands.
Mike Davis was the Raider involved, along with Matt Millen, and Dennis Hara and Irv Pankey were the Rams involved. 17 yards, 6 plays. Rams kept it 3 minutes, 25 seconds. Mike Lansford, the new Ram kicker, with one shoe off and one shoe on. Lansford from Washington. Nolan Cromwell is the holder. Penalty marker down. Probably too much time. I can't tell. I know they've had a lot of problems here with the 30-second clock and the game clock.
Encroaching defense.
It's against the defense again.
That's one of those penalties that you turn down because on the extra point, you're used to kicking it from that same spot, and you don't want to change the spot. So you just say, we refuse.
So it's a good time to encroach if you're so inclined.
One encroach.
You have to have, the rules say, a stocking on both legs. It doesn't say it has to be a full-length stocking. So Lansford has on about a third of a stocking on his right leg. Extra point is good. 11:35 left to play quarter number 1 at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Wendell Tyler, who just scored the touchdown, and his Rams lead the Raiders by the score of 7-0. After that fracas on the touchdown. 11:35 left in the first quarter. Lansford's kick is a good one. It will be Greg Pruitt, about 5 yards deep in the end zone. Pruitt breaks out of the pack, gets out to about the 19, where he's knocked down. Mike Riley took him down. The Raider offense, quarterback, of course, is Jim Plunkett. Marcus Allen and Kenny King, now the fullback. Cliff Branch and Malcolm Barnwell. Here is the mix-up again. Matt Millen involved in another fracas.
Maybe this is a rivalry game.
It's going to be.
Coach has said it's not, but we've had about 3 or 4 fights in less than 4 minutes.
That's the offensive line for the Raiders, and they feel that they have a very fine, young offensive line. I think they're right about that. King is the close back, and Marcus Allen the deep back in the eye. Plunkett set up a screen to the left. Does settle up to Marcus Allen. Allen for about 7 yards. Mel Owens starting at linebacker. And let's look at the Ram defense and tell you how they set up. A 4-man front. Jack Youngblood, Mike Fanning, Cody Jones, and Reggie Doss, the front 4. The linebackers, and this is new, Jim Youngblood in the middle, George Andrews and Mel Owens, their first-round draft choice of a year ago, the outside men. Secondary, Thomas and Perry on the corners, Johnson and Cromwell, the safety men. 2nd and 2. Plunkett gives to Kenny King. He might have gotten a half yard, not much else. Johnny Johnson given credit for the tackle, but they just collapsed the whole left side. About a yard, make it 3rd and 1. If you look at the book on Kenny King. Marcus Allen, not only is big and strong, he's got great quickness and great speed to go along with it. Good pass receiver, he can do everything. 3rd and 1. This is Marcus Allen. He needed strength and quickness to get the first down, or he got very close to it.
Let's watch Jim Youngblood. We talked about Jim, number 53 there. Watch him. He's playing middle linebacker for the first time. He's always been, of course, the outside linebacker. Reads that very well. Gets to the hole about the same time Marcus Allen does. But Marcus Allen got that extra little push, enough for the first down.
The 10-year veteran from Tennessee Tech, Jim Youngblood, not related to Jack. 1st and 10 for the Raiders, their own 31. Here's Plunkett faking, being chased by Johnson, and down he goes. Johnny Johnson on a safety blitz. Big loss. George Andrews came from the other side, and he helped out.
You know, this is what we were talking about with Ray Malavasi yesterday on 1st down. A running down, the Raiders go play pass, they go roll. Here comes Johnson from the backside. Whew, there takes a helmet right off Plunkett's head. And then stop him on 1st down, put him in the 2nd and 3rd and long, go to the 5 defensive backs, make them pass. He said, then we can beat them.
17-yard loss, 2nd and 27. Cliff Branch. Malcolm Barnwell, the wide receivers. This is Marcus Allen. And once again, that Ram defense is fired up. Mel Owens, the first man there. There's Tom Flores. So gracious to us last night.
It's no fun to coach, Pat, when you're 2nd and 22. You can't think of a good play in that situation. And now they're about 3rd and 25, isn't it?
A little bit more than that, I think.
I used to always go to the sideline and take a drink of water then. You know, the quarterback's looking over. What do you want, Coach? What do you want? And I'm over there taking a drink with my back to him.
Talking to the guys upstairs who are not on the other end of the phone either. Ray Malavasi looking on from the side. 3rd and 27 will make it. Kenny King and Marcus Allen behind Plunkett. He drops the throw. Youngblood with a good rush. Mike Fanning, Cody Jones, all of them there. 79 is Mike Fanning. Didn't play last week. But a good pass rush.
This is what the Rams have to do. This is the old Ram type of defense. The pass rush, the gang tackling, safety blitz. We see Jack Youngblood coming from the outside, but it was Fanning that was the first man there, Mike Fanning.
Youngblood made him step up. Fanning made the hit. Leroy Irvin standing back at midfield. Dangerous man. Ray Guy standing deep in his own end zone. He catches it. After retreat. He didn't catch it. But the 39 is where he started. Stays on his feet. Gets down to about the 32 where the Rams will take over in good shape once again. Bob Nelson, the man down to make the tackle. That was a 32-yard punt by Ray Guy and a 7-yard return. The Rams lead the Raiders inside the 30 to about the 28.
You know, it was interesting, Pat. All week there was talk in the newspapers that this is a rivalry game. although these teams have only played each other 3 times in regular season. And the players, the coaches were saying it's not a rivalry. We're in different conferences. There's no rivalry. But watching this game, it sure looks like one to me.
When you see all those scuffles going on, you believe that. 2nd and 6. The Raider 28. Ferragamo will throw. Has time. Finds a man. Barber is tight end. Close to first down yardage. Burgess Owens, number 44 on the stop.
Mike Barber, of course, played tight end for the Houston Oilers for years, and then they made a trade for Dave Casper. Last year, both Mike Barber and Casper alternated at tight end. Then he was traded in the offseason to the Rams. Ray Malavasi said that it's given him a lot more blocking on that thing, and this short type of control type passing. You see the receivers go deep, Barber blocks and then comes underneath.
Mike Gilman trying to get to the outside, falls forward for a couple. Not much more. Rod Martin tripped him up.
There's Rod Martin. You know, we drafted him when I was still with the Raiders in the 12th round. That's the last round. And we got to the 12th round, and we didn't have anyone we really liked. And I called my friend John Robinson at USC, and I said, John, is there anyone around there that hasn't been drafted who can still play? And he says, yeah, Rod Martin. I said, okay. Went back in the room and said, let's take Rod Martin, and we did. He's a great player.
And now he's a veteran. 6'2", 215. Ferragamo has 2nd down and 8. Drops back into the pocket. Lost one out for Wendell Tyler, and he has a touchdown. Rod Martin was chasing, but Wendell Tyler just pulled away. 18-yard touchdown pass from Vince Ferragamo to Wendell Tyler. And the Rams once again take advantage of good field position.
I'll tell you, good field position, and it was a great call. Because what happened, the Raiders were in a blitz. They blitzed their 2 inside linebackers, and that put Rod Martin man-to-man on Wendell Tyler with no linebacker help inside. Anytime you brag about a guy, something bad always happens to him. You ever notice that?
Oh, yeah.
That Rod Martin's a great player. Wendell Tyler beats him for a touchdown.
It 14-0, and he does. Let's look at that touchdown again with you, John.
See what happens is as the Raiders come on a blitz on this, we see the quarterback here. And now we see Rod Martin. He's man-to-man. Wendell Tyler had about 3 or 4 steps on him. Okay, now you see the 2 inside linebackers come, 51, 55. Now Rod Martin has no inside help. Wendell Tyler gets across, and it's no contest to the end zone.
So the first 2 times the Rams have the ball, they score. 14-0. We are finished off the touchdown drive. Lansford will kick off. Kicks off. He's a quick change artist. Wears shoes to kick off and kick field goals. Extra points he does barefoot. This is Greg Pruitt. Pruitt with some room. Pruitt to the outside. Chased by Lansford. Knocked out of bounds by Johnson.
The Raiders got Greg Pruitt in the offseason from Cleveland, and he has been a big addition to this football team as a kickoff and punt returner. Right there, he just didn't have enough room, and the kicker knocked him out of bounds. Let's watch that last touchdown by the Rams. We see what happens here. These 2 guys blitz. Now, when that happens, that gives Wendell Tyler a clear area coming across the field. Now, watch how that happens. You see the blitz. When you bring 2 men on a 3-man line, then you're man-to-man. And you see how that gives Wendell Tyler that whole field coming across.
Tough job to ask a linebacker to cover like that. It's Branch in motion. 1st and 10, Raiders at their own 45. It'll throw on first down. Does. Going for Branch. Had him deep. Rod Perry on the coverage. Rams lead 14-0. And speaking of Ram early leads, opening day against Green Bay, they led 23-0. They lost 35-23. Against Atlanta, they were up like they are now, 14-0. They lost 34-17. And then last week against Denver, they were up 21-0 and lost 27-24. So really, the key to their 1-5 record has been defense. If you look at Wendell Tyler. 2nd and 10 from the 45 with Plunkett, the quarterback. Will throw again. Down the middle for Todd Christensen. Penalty marker down. Incomplete to Christensen, but a flag down in the middle of the field.
That looks like one of those penalties that'll go against the Ram defense. It'll be something on Todd Christensen. It'll either be against Todd Christensen or it'll be on the Rams doing something against Todd Christensen. Because that referee, that official was right there watching. Boom, he threw it right at him.
Illegal contact, defense.
Against the Rams. The Rams, when they were introduced initially, were booed rather soundly.
Yeah, that was a good boo. Nice boo.
That's rather soundly.
The Raiders had a good cheer.
Yep. Blackout.
Illegal contact, defense, first down.
This broadcast was initially not supposed to be lifted because it's not a sellout. They have about 60,000 people. But it was mutual consent of the two owners that it should be shown locally. We're glad that it is. Marcus Allen for about 4 over the left side, tripped up by Jim Youngblood.
You know, one of the things that the Raiders are doing more this year, and it's because of this man, Marcus Allen, is they're running more out of the I formation. Of course, that's what he ran at USC, and he just seems more natural in that position. You know, he can run to the right, to the left, get inside quickly, and all those types of things.
He says it gives him a better look at the defense, the same look at the quarterback. 77-yard feed. 2nd down 6. Allen again to the outside. Penalty markers come flying out as Marcus Allen is stopped by Leroy Irvin, but gets very close to first down yardage. And Haggerty says it's holding against those in black.
I think those in black lead the league in penalties this year.
They do indeed. Something like 87 yards lost per game. That's a lot.
That is.
Holding, number 79, offense.
Bruce Davis, number 79. He's replaced a veteran who I thought would maybe never be replaced at left tackle in the offensive line. A great veteran, one of the greatest, yes. Art Gill. 2nd down. Plunkett drops to throw. Fanning hits him just as he lets it go. It will be picked off. This is Nolan Cromwell. Mike Fanning caused that interception by Nolan Cromwell.
That's right. That's one of those interceptions. Now, they're going to pat Cromwell on the back. It'll go in the stats. They'll congratulate him. But let's watch Mike Fanning. He comes from the right of their screen. He's going against number 65. Beats him to the inside. The center went left. He hit Jim Plunkett just as he threw, and it made a duck out of a pass. Let's see if we can watch it again. We'll see Mickey Marvin blocking here on Fanning, and that was the thing that gets the thing. Cromwell's just back in here, and he'll get the interception. Now watch Fanning here. You see, it looked like Mickey Marvin, the right guard, was expecting inside help from his center, but the center went left, opened up the hole. Fanning hit Plunkett, and it went end over end. Cromwell's right there. There's no Raider there.
And the duck went south in the hands of Cromwell, and the Rams have another break, 14-0.
Pat him on the back. You know, you need those types of people around. They got, you know, a lot of times they just leave that quarterback alone when he throws an interception.
First down 10 for the Rams. Vince Ferragamo, the quarterback. The scoreboard is out. Pass is to Barber, and it's complete for another Ram first down inside the Raider 40. 17-yard gain on first down.
This is what Ray Malavasi was talking about. He said we have to be successful on first down. He said we want to make things happen, you know, and run, mix up play pass and that type of thing. And so far, the Ram offenses look very, very sharp.
They really have. First and 10 at the Raider 40. Ray Malavasi a little bit happier at the moment than he has been under all the fire of recent weeks. This is Wendell Tyler. Tyler slashes for 5. Ted Hendricks, number 83, the great veteran, made the stop. See what they did to make that play get 5.
Let's watch it down here. We'll see. There's Lyle Alzado. He's the new player that the Raiders got this year from Cleveland. We see Earl Pankey fires out on Alzado, gets that left arm out there, keeps him on the line of scrimmage, and then puts him on his back. That's pretty good blocking by that left side.
That'll grade very high.
Big Earl Pankey.
6-yard pickup, make it 2nd and 4. The 2 wide receivers both on the right side. Here comes Denard in motion. Wendell Tyler trying to find someplace to go. Is hurled to the ground by Lyle Alzado.
Well, Lyle Alzado has played in this league for 12 years. And you're going to get some plays on him, but you're not going to make a living doing it. And that's what he said. He said, okay, Irv Pankey, you got one, but the next time you come in here, I'm going to get me one, which Lyle just did.
You can tell by the scars on that helmet that he's been in some tight spots. So is he.
Big John Matusak, the tooth. He has a back injury, and he's on injured reserve.
Drew Hill now in the game as the Rams go with 3 wide receivers, and Ferragamo drops the throw. Looking, throwing, picked off. Burgess Owens comes up with the interception for the Raiders. Drew Hill was the intended receiver.
Let's watch the pass rush on this. Again, we're watching Lyle Alzado here on Irv Pankey. So he gets Pankey coming up the field, knocks him to the outside, goes inside, hits Ferragamo just as he throws the ball. I'll tell you, it's tough to throw under those types of situations. Let's watch the whole play here. Ferragamo feels it, has to throw out here. He saw the man covering, but he didn't see Burgess Owens in front of him.
Alzado could have really drilled Ferragamo on that play, but he didn't. Still 14-0.
Light up your eyes on
But their own 33-yard line, 1st and 10. After the interception by Burgess Owens. Plunkett still has Kenny King and Marcus Allen in the backfield. On 1st down, Plunkett will throw. And he has Marcus Allen. 9-yard pickup. About a half-yard, perhaps. Shy of the 1st down. Lyle Alzado. Proudly carrying his youngster around the motel last night.
Youngster and a milkshake.
Milkshake was his.
I didn't know if he was going to share that thing with the youngster or not.
2nd and 1. The Raiders 43. Plunkett will throw it again. Outside, quick Brand. Ruled out of bounds. Rod Perry, the defender. Official right on top of the story.
This is a little quick out. Eventually in this game, we're going to see Cliff Branch go deep. Now he's trying to run a short pattern in front of Rod Perry to bring him up. Let him think short so he can get by him later. We can see that his left foot hit the line. You have to have both feet in bounds, of course. If either one of them hit the line, then it's out of bounds, which it was. But Rod Perry is going to see Cliff Branch go deep.
Frank Hawkins now is the other running back. Pitches back to Marcus Allen. He got the 1st down. Good effort by Allen. Nolan Cromwell, Johnny Johnson both had a hand in bringing him down, but he got the 1st down.
So we were talking about Marcus Allen, and from training camp, all the players, the coaches, everyone, they talk about this guy. They know he's a great runner. He's a Heisman Trophy winner and all this. But they always talk about how tough he is and reckless. He really is a reckless-type runner and blocker.
2 Heisman Trophy winners in that Raider backfield. The quarterback, Plunkett, and the tailback, Marcus Allen. Malcolm Barnwell has it knocked away just at the last second by Pat Thomas.
Let's watch Jack Youngblood here. He's number 85. He'll be going against number 70, Henry Lawrence. Henry Lawrence, a good pass protector, stops him there, bounces back, boom, gets that one more to knock him to the ground.
Plunkett is now 2 out of 6. 17 yards gain. The one completion to Mike Barber got that pickup. I'm sorry.
Blood on there. Did you see that? Yeah. Blood in the hip. Oh, this is going to be a good one. On grass, in the pit. the blocker was the I formation. He tackled the first back through was Frank Hawkins.
Holding against the often penalized Los Angeles Raiders. Pat Haggerty, the referee.
I'll tell you, for years I've been talking about officials, but this is one of the officials that I really respect the most. I think that Pat Haggerty is one of the finest officials in this league today and one of the finest officials that this league has ever had.
He just made Art McNally's day.
Maybe Pat Haggerty, but I really like it. I mean, he always has control. He never gets excited. He never gets upset. He always has control.
Holding, number 46, offense.
Called against Todd Christensen. 29 yards in penalties already against Tom Flory's Los Angeles Raiders. The Rams, who play in Anaheim, came to this game by bus. The Raiders came by plane. For the home team. Plunkett gets away, throws, intended for Branch, picked off. Rod Perry came up with the interception. Branch did not expect that ball to come his way.
I don't think so. When he saw Plunkett go to the right, it looked like he held up. Now watch this. We'll see Jim Plunkett. He's getting some pressure from the middle. You see right there, Mike Fanning's coming on a stunt. Plunkett has to run. That's a right hash mark. He stops, throws all the way across the field, and Rod Perry was there in front of Cliff Branch. I think you're right. I think Cliff should have kept running that pattern, but he thought that Jim was going the other side. Rod Perry didn't.
28th career interception for Rod Perry. 4th all-time Ram list. Irv Pankey popped off sides a little too soon. Minute 14 left to play in the first quarter. Pace has slowed down a bit since those first two quick Rams.
Ball start, offense.
Ball start against the offense.
There's big Irv Pankey. He's replaced Doug France. He replaced him last year, and then he's starting this year, his first full season. They've always had big guys at that left tackle. You know, Irv Pankey's about 270 pounds. Doug France was always, you know, you can say whatever, 300, 290, whatever. Charlie Cowan before that. First and 15. Mike Truman, who gets back for perhaps a half-yard gain. Rod Martin tripped him up. See what's going on inside. Doug Smith is the center there, and we see him going against Archie Reese. Remember Archie Reese from the 49ers? Archie Reese does a good job of holding up that center, that middle, but Doug Smith gets a little position on it.
Ron Battle is now the Ram tight end. Barber is out. Battle in motion. Pitches back to Wendell Tyler. No place to go. Quickly is Matt Millen. Millen is some story. Big for an inside linebacker. He goes about 250. Penalty marker down. He says about his appetite. There's another fracas takes place on the field. I don't care what they bring me, as long as I'm full when I leave the table.
He said whatever they bring him, he's going to eat it all. You know, he's had a problem
Defense,
of weight. He's down.
Offense. After the play was over,
Matt Millen's down to about 255.
He was 280 in the offseason.
280 pounds.
Once in college, they say he ate a meal that included 3 bowls of French onion soup, 4 double shrimp cocktails, 2 huge salads, 24-ounce prime rib, 2 baked potatoes, and a whole loaf of garlic bread. Now, that's a pretty good effort.
Man, I love those kind of guys. And then you play middle linebacker with that in you. Who's going to run on you in the middle? He looks like a lady. Look at his helmet. It's all scratched up, all thing Nancy. You can't use that thing in the middle.
How much better that helmet looks. 3rd and 15, back at the 31. 3 wide receivers for the Rams. 1 setback. Ferragamo, the rush from the outside, throws behind Willie Miller. Incomplete. And we'll get our first look at the new Ram punter, John Misko.
He's a big one. He's 6'5". He has to be one of the tallest punters in the National Football League.
He and Ray Guy, both tall. Both good athletes. Greg Pruitt back deep by himself. As the Raiders put 10 men up on the line. What looks like an effort to block the punt by Misco. For return. Good kick. Fine kick. Look out, Greg. Good coverage. Leroy Irvin, number 47.
Oh,
Great on special team.
Greg didn't hear you on that one. That was perfect timing by Leroy Irvin. You know, he was the outside man, the end man who can go when the ball snaps. Of course, he's the chaser, and he was the first guy down.
Tomorrow.
It'll be interesting to see how they put it down.
Here's Marcus Allen breaking tackles, getting about 14 yards before he's finally tripped up by Jack Youngblood. The spinning, whirling Marcus Allen. 15-yard gain. That's the end of the first quarter. With the score, the Los Angeles Rams 14. The host Los Angeles Raiders nothing. At the Los Angeles Coliseum. 14, Raiders nothing. Ex-Ram quarterback, current CBS analyst for the NCAA games on CBS, Pat Hayden. He'll be doing the Sun Bowl Christmas Day. Plunkett fires, caught. Malcolm Barnwell has it.
Did you see Jim Plunkett throw that ball? I'll tell you, he can throw a pass from the darndest positions that I have ever seen. Let's watch Malcolm Barnwell here. He's going to run it in. He'll come up here, come towards us. Come on, Malcolm, square it off a little. Right there, right in front of the defense. Catches the ball, and then he gets tackled there. But watch Jim Plunkett throw it. You know, most quarterbacks, they step up. They have all this thing. Now watch Jim. He's back here. He's not throwing off his back or his front foot. He's sideways, getting hit, spun around, and boom, he slaps it in there.
Got hit in the back by Jack Youngblood. That's Cliff Branch in motion, and Plunkett did throw again. Over the middle for Branch, 5 yards. Stopped by Jim Youngblood. Kenny King, number 33, with the high-top black shoes. Looks a little odd.
Yeah, we'll see Cliff Branch coming around here. He starts in motion, doesn't go all the way across, starts up the field, lets the linebackers go deep, you see, and then comes underneath, under control, under the linebackers, and then gets tackled right there. You know, they haven't gone to Cliff deep yet. See, they're hitting him on those short things and underneath, but eventually they'll put him deep.
Down in 4, 3. Kenny King, the ball carrier. That kind of pass, that underneath type pass to the tight end and to Branch in this case, we're seeing more and more of.
You know, and that's why in the statistics that the tight ends are catching more passes and the running backs catching more passes than the wide receivers, because they're usually the guys that you do bring underneath that zone defense.
It'll be 3rd and 4. 13 minutes left to play in the first half. Rams 14, Raiders nothing. 3 wide receivers. One of the markers we will see again, and we do. Plunkett goes down under a heavy rush. Leroy Irvin came from the outside, but there is a marker down.
Leroy Irvin's been all over this field. He's the punt returner, the leading punt returner in the league. He's covering punts, first guy down. He's coming on blitzes, tackling the quarterback. Yeah, he ought to get 2 pregame meals.
Ray Malavasi said yesterday that we'd see a lot of him in the contest, and we have. This is against the Rams, and it'll move the Raiders down to the 35-yard line and move the first down markers as well.
Encroachment, defense.
A lot of encroachment penalties today. I think that's the 3rd one. There's Leroy Irvin.
He encroached.
And he goes stand in the sideline after he encroached.
Plunkett on first. We'll throw again. Stepping up into the pocket. Penalty markers down. They throw for Kenny King. He almost made a spectacular catch. Mel Owens back there on the coverage. Flag breaks down again.
And that's going to be against the Raiders, Pat. That was holding, offensive holding, and it was right in front of the quarterback. So had Kenny King caught that ball, it would have just been drill.
Probably against number 70, Henry Lawrence. He and Jack Youngblood are having quite a battle.
It was right at the end of the play, and I think it was on Henry Lawrence.
Holding, number 70, offense.
Let's see if we can watch it. Now, there's Jack Youngblood, who he's blocking, number 85. It looks like it's going against the official. Henry hits into him. See that right hand there? He grabs him there, and he may have grabbed Jack Youngblood's right ankle as he went down.
Kenny King is out. Frank Hawkins is in, 1st and 20. Line of scrimmage, the 45-yard line in Ram territory. Plunkett under heavy fire, throws to Todd Christensen. Christensen near a first down, not quite. Down to the 25 before Johnny Johnson brings him down. 19 yards.
Jim Plunkett is amazing. He can throw the ball, as you say, under heavy fire. Watch here. Again, it's a stunt. Youngblood was right there. But somehow he just got that ball through to Todd Christensen. These are the darndest positions. Watch the pressure at the end. See, he's spinning, turning, whirling, getting hit in the back shoulder, knocked down, doing flips, rolls, cartwheels. Yeah, all in a day's work.
And finally now, he realizes the pass was complete. 2nd and 1. Allen takes it into the secondary, first down to the 17. The two safety men make the stop, Johnny Johnson and Nolan Cromwell. Also an official tripped him up.
That was probably Dave Moss, the umpire. I'm sure it was. Those umpires get hit darn near as much as a middle linebackers because they line up right next to him. If we can see it. No. He was a deeper guy there. Boom, good. He goes right down, has a nice little roll. Bounces up, puts the hat back. The first thing you always do is put the hat back on.
And then check your pockets. First down, Raiders. Touchdown. Rod Perry on the coverage for the fine throw from Plunkett, and as John Madden told you, you're going to see him go deep.
It's an amazing guy. His 11th year, and he's never lost any speed, and it's just a matter of time until he goes deep on you. Rod Perry knew it, too. He knew that little short stuff in front was just setting him up. He was going to get it, and there he got it for 6.
Give credit to Branch and give credit to Plunkett, too. It was a good throw. Chris Barr with Mark Wilson holding. Barr will kick. There's Cliff Branch.
Watch it again. We see Jim Plunkett coming here. This is the type of thing, it's a timing pass. You just throw it up over his outside shoulder right in front of the flag. Rod Perry was there, but a second too late.
Plunkett led him over that shoulder to the outside, away from the defender.
Right over the outside shoulder. Perfect pass, perfect catch.
80 yards Plunkett took him. The touchdown to Cliff Branch. 14-7 the score. The scoring drive by the Los Angeles Raiders. They went 80 yards in 7 plays. Plunkett, 18-yard touchdown to Branch. Chris Barr kicks off. Mike Gooman returns the kickoff, number 44, outside the 25 to the 27. Calvin Muhammad down to make the stop at the half today. Coming up.
Finishing out the season knowing he's going to coach Alabama. Bill Parcells an assistant this year, knowing that he will be head coach of the Giants next year. And, of course, George Young, the man who hired both of them.
Randall Tyler, outside the 30 to 32. Stopped by Archie Reese, playing in the nose guard position for the Raiders. John, I must ask you, having been a coach and such a successful one for so long, do you think that lame duck situation with Perkins leaving and Parcells coming on will have an adverse effect on the Giants?
I'm sure that it will have an adverse effect, but probably not as much as it would had they not named a head coach. I think there has to be some, can't be the same, but it could be worse.
Ferragamo. Barber. Not much.
That was one of those passes that they tried to hit underneath the linebackers, and they did, but the linebackers weren't very deep, so therefore Barber wasn't very deep, so therefore he only made about 3 or 4 yards. That's darn near not worth throwing.
It'll be 3rd and 2. As a result of that, the ball on the 36-yard line. It's 14-7. The Rams got 2 quick ones. Barry Redden returned the opening kickoff 86 yards. They went in. Wendell Tyler scoring. Got an interception and scored quickly again, and we're 14-0 on top. 3rd down. Battle and Barber. This is Battle on the tight end around. Did not get the first down. Burgess Owens made the first contact. Good defensive play by the Raiders. Ed Watts came up to make a hit also.
Let's watch this. A short yardage play, 3rd and short. This is a funny play to run on a short yardage situation, reverse. On short yardage, you always want to get the ball as quickly as you can to the line of scrimmage. Here they run a reverse, and Battle had to run darn near 30 yards before he got back to the line of scrimmage. Funny play.
Low percentage. John Misko. Greg Pruitt back deep for the Raiders. Another good kick by Misko. Hangs high down inside the 20 is Pruitt. He gets away from Leroy Irvin this time. Gets away from another man. Good effort by Pruitt. He only gained about 6 yards, but a good effort. And another penalty flag is thrown. 2 of them, in fact. One back at the line of scrimmage and one down by where the return was finished.
We'll have a lot of talk on this one.
Do we have a conference, you think?
Encroachment, defense, number 50.
Yep, see? Yeah, see, he didn't get enough talk in yet. I knew he was talking too soon because he didn't get the other one.
Now the conference.
Yeah, all he had was that one penalty up here. He didn't get this second yellow flag down here. Now they have the conference.
48-yard punt in the meantime. 9-yard return. Tom Flores, the ex-Raider quarterback, ex-assistant to John Madden. Another coaching cohort.
They were 2 fine coaches, I'll tell you. Ray Malavasi was a linebacker coach with us, and then Tom Flores for years was the receiver coach. They both did an outstanding job as assistants, and of course are doing a fine job as head coaches.
Long runs by Haggerty. We'll see if he has enough wind left to tell us what the violation is. A lot of volume, Pat.
We have a multiple foul, encroachment on the defense, and a clip on the return. First down.
Ray Malavasi on the right and Ray Malavasi on the left. The one on the right's a few years ago.
Who would have guessed it? That was an interesting call. See, the Raiders encroached, and then after the return, they clipped. So the encroachment gave the Rams enough for the first down.
George Farmer and Preston Denard with a wide receiver. This was Wendell Tyler trying to find someplace to go, but Lyle Alzado and the rest of the Raider defense just caved in that side of the line.
I'll tell you where it all started was with the nose tackle. You know, when you play a 3-man line, that nose tackle has to hold up the middle so there's no cutback. Then the ends, or the outside men, can collapse it and shorten those holes down. That's what happened on that play.
Marcus Allen. The initial hit.
Okay, this Wendell Tyler can do it all. I mean, he runs with it. He's very explosive. He catches the ball. out of the backfield, has good moves. We'll see him cut back there inside and get up there close to the first down. I bet the Rams don't run a reverse on this 3rd and short situation.
They don't either. Been a lot of criticism, analytical criticism, if there is such a thing, of Wendell Tyler and the way he carries the ball and the frequency of fumbles. Actually, he's fumbled only 8 times all year.
I like Wendell Tyler. I liked him in college, UCLA, and I liked him as a pro with the Rams. And he does have that thing, but he runs hard. He's a hard player.
They didn't run a reverse, but I'm not sure they got the first down either. Matt Millen once again made the hit.
Let's see it from the I formation. Motion, they're going to run to the left. Gooman leads. Gooman should have gotten in and out of that hole. If they don't have a first down, which they don't, it was really the lead blocker's fault. Mike Gooman, as a lead blocker, you have to get into the hole and through the hole. Gooman blocked up the hole for Wendell Tyler, and this is an interesting play. 4th down, and the Rams are going for it.
4th and a foot. And now they take a timeout as Ferragamo was not quite sure what Ray Malavasi had in mind.
And we'll see if Ray is sure of what they had in mind, or John Hadel's sure.
Kane rushing. Here it's 4th and a foot.
You know, this could be a situation where the Rams call no play in the huddle. Ferragamo just barks some signals, hoping to draw the Raiders offside.
Hoping for another encroachment.
We've had 6 of them today already. They won't snap the ball. There's no snap.
Well, I told you before that the 30-second clock doesn't work all the time. Malavasi upset about something.
He was probably trying to get an encroachment penalty or an offside. You see, Ferragamo went in the huddle, and he just says, no play. And he comes up, and with his cadence and his head bobbing, tries to draw the Raiders offside. They don't go. The Rams take the penalty and then punt.
They were going to have to punt anyway if they didn't make the first down. Of course, in that case, the Raiders would have taken over. John Misko, 4th in the NFL. Now they'll walk it off. Greg Pruitt back by himself.
Ted Hendricks out there. He's one of the Raider captains. He was helping in that decision.
He'll help you.
That'll help him in a lot of ways. Ted Hendricks was a free spirit before there was such a thing.
And he still is a free spirit.
And he always will be a free spirit.
This one doesn't take off, a turnover. Goes out of bounds at the 21-yard line where the Raiders will take over with 6:34 left in the first half. 33-yard punt. Ted Hendricks, next year, we'll all be living in Los Angeles, and we'll play our home games in Oakland. Now it's vice versa. Marcus Allen, wrapped up by Mike Fanning. Got about a yard.
You know, there's a guy who's been active today is Mike Fanning.
Really
He's
has.
been in a lot of plays. He's rushed the passer. He's making runs. He's had an injury. You know, he didn't start last week, and then he's coming back this week. But he's playing very well today.
And he's going against a very tough offensive guard, one of the best, in fact.
Mickey Marvin.
Second down, 9, we'll call it, at the 22. Look at the quarterback. King and Allen the runner. Marcus Allen slips to the outside. Tries to slip around. Leroy Irvin, but there he is again.
He's been doing everything on this. You know, Marcus Allen tried a straight arm. You know, that was a thing that was big in the old days. You used to always see the pictures of the running backs with their arms out, straight arming. You don't see those types of things anymore. The old straight arm, but it didn't work on Leroy Irvin.
The old straight arm was a lot more effective when the defenders didn't have any face masks.
that would make it effective. Or if on the other end of that straight arm was Jim Brown.
That was effective. 3rd and 11. Plunkett drop. Steps up. Plunkett throws back across the field. Penalty marker down. He was across the line of scrimmage. Pass was complete to Malcolm Barnwell, but Plunkett had strolled too far.
One thing about Jim Plunkett is he
forward pass
can't
beyond
move.
the line of scrimmage.
You know, it's amazing for his guy as big as he is. You know, he's 6'2", 6'3", and weighs about 220 pounds. He's been in the league for 12 years and still moves like he does. Let's see if we can see him get beyond the line of scrimmage. See, he starts back here. Now he's going to step up. He feels a rush coming from the outside, steps up, goes out to the right. Now he's okay here, but now he starts upfield. Right there, you see, his left foot was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw the pass.
Fourth down.
It's a loss of down. They not only wipe out the completion, but the Raiders will have to punt. There's Jim Plunkett. Quite a young man. Quite an inspiration.
An inspiration and a tough, tough man. You talk about someone who's had ups and downs in his life. That's Jim Plunkett.
And not just in football.
But what a guy he is.
Leroy Irvin. Dangerous. Standing back for the Rams. That's Ray Guy. Kick away from Irvin, and bounces out of bounds at the 36-yard line where the Rams will take over. 48-yard punt. No return is the important thing, and Guy did his job. 14-7. Pat Summerall with John Madden at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Ray Guy is back along with Todd Christensen, taking the hot a little bit. The quarterback, Barry Redden, in the backfield. Ferragamo is chased and finally hit down by Lyle Alzado, chased by the nose man, Reggie Kinlaw, who caused that whole thing.
You know, the nose tackle, that's Reggie Kinlaw there. They take such a beating in that middle on a three-man line with a center blocking them, guards coming down on them, that the Raiders alternate them all the time. Now watch Kinlaw. He's over the center. He beats Smith, takes off the guard, beats him, gets by him, flushes Ferragamo out right there into Lyle Alzado.
Kinlaw beat three blockers. Second and 20. Trap play. Doesn't work either. Got 3 or 4. Chet Hendricks is there to wrap things up. First down is a very key down. Here's what they've been doing so far. The Rams, of course, on the left. The Raiders on the right.
We see the pass works a lot better than the run. For the Rams, they're 2.7 on runs. They only threw one pass, but it was for 17 yards. Now, the Raiders have a pretty good mixture. They're 5.3 on the rush, and they're 7 points on the pass, but they've thrown 9 times on first down.
3rd and 16, 3 wide receivers for the Rams. Ferragamo up into the pocket. Preston Denard trying to get out of bounds, trying to get away from somebody. Can't. Clock still runs. They're about 5 yards short of that first down. Quite a victory today for Don Shula and the Miami Dolphins, John.
I'll tell you, when you play Miami and Don Shula, the game is never over. They're always in that thing, and I'll tell you, especially when you play them in Miami, they're always tough, but they're tough down there. It's funny, that two-quarterback thing, where if the Dolphins lose, they criticize it, but when they win, that's the way to go. Brilliant.
They won 20-19, in case you didn't know, with 3 seconds left to play on the field goal. Rick Pruitt lets it bounce. Bounces away from him. Now he fields it. Kirk Collins was the man down to make the tackle. 43-yard punt. Lost a yard on the return. Didn't look like a very good play by Pruitt, but really it was. That ball would have bounced and continued to bounce. It would have been deeper. That was the Oakland Raiders. Los Angeles Raiders cheerleader. Marcus Allen off to the right side for a couple. I guess, John, maybe you know. Do the cheerleaders come down from Oakland too?
Yes, they do. They do today. There's Henry Lawrence, number 70, on Jack Youngblood. Gets a pretty good jump on him. You see, he straightens him up, gets Jack's shoulders back, then he has that right arm in there helping a little, takes him to the ground. They're having a real battle today, Henry Lawrence and Jack Youngblood.
Two fine players. Marcus Allen and Frank Hawkins. And one of the two running backs is Plunkett. Steps to throw and does throw. And for Barnwell, picked off by the Rams' Pat Thomas.
That was one that it was a great coverage here by Pat Thomas. You know, he really hasn't been having a year that's typical to him. He's been an all-pro, a great cornerback, and he hasn't been having a great year, but that was a great interception because he not only, of course, had good coverage, he's playing zone. He's off of Barnwell. You see, he's off. He just goes back there, but watch the catch that he makes. One, that's a fine catch over the head, and then keeping that second foot, the left foot inbound. You look like Fred Bolitnikoff as a receiver.
A remarkable job to keep those feet down. Ferragamo will go to work on first down out to Tyler. Screen pass set up. Tyler looking for someplace to go. Hendricks had him. Tyler gets away. And Tyler comes very close to a Ram first down.
I think Tyler hurt his knee, Pat, or maybe pulled a muscle. Did you see him as he went out of bounds? He grabbed his leg and went down.
And he's still down, sits down on the Raider bench. So Tyler sits over with the enemy for a moment at least. We'll return after this word from the National Football just at the end of this.
Watch it as he does here. You know, it looked like it could be either a cramp or a pull muscle. Now watch right here. You see right at the end, you see him grab the leg, the left leg, right above the knee. Now, that could either be a cramp or a pulled muscle. And the fact that he's up and moving like this, it was probably a cramp.
Pulled muscle, he wouldn't be jumping around.
No, he sure, or he wouldn't be grabbing for his helmet either.
Gerald Thomas has replaced him. Stocky, he can run too. Thomas broke one tackle, got about four. Bob Nelson knocked him down. Right now, let's swing you back to New York and to Brent Musburn. All right, Brent, thank you. The Rams lead the Raiders 14-7. 1:23 left in the first half. Ferragamo back to throw and does throw. Mike Barber, the tight end, gets him in field goal range. Down to the 19, an 18-yard gain. Mike Davis made the hit.
Yeah, I think the Rams are using Mike Barber more than they have their tight end in the past. You know, we know that he's blocking more, but he makes a good move on Mike Davis. You see, he started him, brought him back to the inside, turned Davis around, and then cut to the outside. That was a good move by big Mike Barber.
This is a Ram timeout. They have one left. I don't know exactly how you treat that.
I would imagine that we won't be seeing him the rest of the half, and he'll probably take a pretty good look at it after.
It'll be 1st and 10 Rams at the Raider 19. Bernard was the man in motion. Ferragamo looking downfield, a lot of time. As the tight end, Barber again. Picked up 3 or 4 perhaps.
That's one of those types of things. When you get this close, you really can't rely on that underneath stuff because the linebackers don't have to get that deep the closer they get to the goal line. And when you're throwing underneath, you're only picking up 3 or 4 yards.
It'll be 2nd and 8. They got 2 yards from the 17.
Or 2.
Clock 37 seconds, 36, and still running. 3 wide receivers, and the lone setback is Mike Gooman for the Rams. They're at the 17. Ferragamo takes the last Ram timeout of half number 1. Malavese can't be too happy about that.
He's as good as any of them. Last year, of course, he was in Canada, but now that he's back and getting back into things, he's going to be the old Vince Ferragamo.
He better be. He gets rid of it. Out to Gooman. And out of bounds. Penalty markers fly everywhere. Gooman went out of bounds on the far side of the field. Ferragamo, I didn't see had any chance to get rid of the football, and all of a sudden it came flying out. Otis McKinney was the man who was after him. Penalty marker against the Raiders.
I didn't see how it got out of there, but I'll tell you, that is a big, big play. because had he taken the sack here, we see the Raiders coming on a blitz, linebacker, safeties. He's going to throw it underhand. Watch here. He throws it underhand, two hands like a lateral to Gooman. But one, that saved a sack. Gooman is able to get out of bounds here, stop the clock, pick up a penalty, which gives them 15 more yards. That was a big, big play for the Rams and a bad, bad play for the Raiders.
Here's Pat Haggerty.
Personal foul, number 36, defense on the late hit.
Foul against Davis. Could that have been called in the grasp? Ferragamo was almost down.
It could be, but in the grasp, of course, means the whistle blows, too. In fact, the whistle didn't blow, then he wasn't in the grasp, according to the referee.
First and goal, beg your pardon, from the 6-yard line. 20 seconds left in the first half. Ferragamo throws to the outside. Touchdown. Preston Denard, good throw. Got it done in a hurry. And that penalty and that pass by Ferragamo that John Madden talked about was a very big, big one.
And that was the one that made this one possible to Preston Denard. That was the same pass that the Raiders threw to Cliff Branch. That little quick up to the left, right over his outside shoulder.
I hope they don't get hurt over there.
They got them all, don't they? Huh? His hands, doubles, well, the jumps. Let's watch it. Again, it'll be to Ferragamo's left. A quick just right up, over the head, over the outside shoulder of Preston Denard against Ted Watts.
Extra point by Lansford. Now with his shoe off. It's off with his shoe off. Good. That'll make it, and does make it, in fact, 21-7 with 16 seconds left to play in the first half.
Let's watch it again. The Raiders are in a blitz now. Man-to-man on the outside by Ted Watts, number 20. Preston Denard, a little outside move. A great timing throw by Vince Ferragamo, just getting it over his head and over his outside shoulder. Only saved the sack, but it stopped the clock. He got out of bounds.
Bounce the kickoff down to the Raiders. And that should just about take care of the first half as Chester Willis finally put the handle on it. 11 seconds left to play. Don't forget what has happened to the Rams. Contributed to their 1-5 record. They had the lead against the Packers. They lost. A big lead. They had the lead against Atlanta. They lost.
The thing about their improvement, I think, is their defense. They were very solid defense today, the Rams.
Front with 11 seconds left to play in the first half. Plunkett comes away from the rush. Throws down the field to Farnwell at the 35. 2 seconds, 1 second. And they get a stop. 23-yard pickup. Just figuring ahead, it would be about a 52-yard field goal effort by Farr, and Farr is out on the field. 1 second left to play. Again, at the half, a reminder once again, we'll have from the studio in New York, Brent Musburger with highlights of what's taken place. His longest this year is 43 yards. He's hit 50-yarders before and longer. Wilson holding. This will be 53. That won't change the scoreboard at all. Never really got it airborne. So at the halftime at the Los Angeles Coliseum,